Good morning and welcome to the Assiniboia Community Committee for this Tuesday, February 24th of 2026. My name is Councillor Evan Duncan. I'll be chairing today's meeting. I'm joined in person by Councillor Dobson and remotely by Councillor Lukes. Before we get started, I'd like to acknowledge that we are on Treaty 1 territory, the national homeland of the Red River Métis, and that our drinking water comes from Shoal Lake 40 First Nation in Treaty 3 territory. Before we get started, Councillor Dobson, can I have a motion?
Yes.
Councillor Lukes to participate remotely?
Yes, I would like to move that Councillor Luce participate remotely.
All right, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Seeing none. That is.
Can I also put a motion in that the minutes of the meeting held on January 26, 2026 be taken as read and confirmed?
That'd be very helpful. Thank you very much. So moved by Councillor Dobson. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Seeing none. That is carried. And that will take us into our delegations for our agendas. We have reports 1 through 6 and addendum reports 7 and 8. And over to the clerk, I'll introduce the public service as well. I apologize. Our senior committee, Leah Cowan, members of our public service led by our urban planner, planning, property and development, Mr. Galston. And you can introduce your team as we get into the reports. Thank you very much.
Okay, so first registered is Carolina Herrera Garza with Landmark Planning and Design to be heard with respect to report 4. Did you guys want to come up together? Or?
Yeah.
Okay, so Brendan Salaco is also registered with Landmark Planning and Design with respect to report 4.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. My name is Carolina Herrera. I'm a planner with Landmark Planning and Design. I'm here with my colleague Brendan Salaco, and we would like to thank the committee for the committee and the administration for the opportunity to present this morning about our plan approval application for Solara at Ferry Point. Our applicant team, Daytona Homes, is the landowner, and they're seeking plan approval for a multifamily residential development in Prairie Point. We have Scott Matuli here representing Daytona, and we're Landmark Planning and Design. We have been leading the planning and development approval processes. The subject site is approximately 2.5 acres in area and is zoned RMFM. The site is generally surrounded by Waverly Street to the north, park area to the east, single-family homes to the south, and a future multifamily development to the west. Regarding some planning context, our Winnipeg 2045 and Complete Communities 2.0 identified this site as a recent community, and there are several policies and objectives that support a project like this one. For example, expanding housing diversity while improving the efficiency of land use, infrastructure, and services, encouraging residential development that contributes to the neighborhood character, among others. This site is also located within the Waverly West Southwest Neighborhood Plan area. This site is located within the residential policy area. I'm not gonna get into the specifics for the interest of time, but the proposed development follows the policy for this area. Now, regarding the site plan, the proposed development includes 12 townhouse buildings with a total of 59 dwelling units, all of them with single and double garages, depending the size of the unit, and an overall parking ratio of 2.2 parking spaces per unit. There is also an outdoor amenity area located in the center of the development, and there is enhanced landscaping and connectivity all across the site. We're also proposing a total of 9 visitor parking stalls, and 4 of them are accessible stalls. All of the proposed townhouses are 3 stories in height. The ground floor is dedicated to the private garage for each unit. Vehicle access to these garages is provided directly from the proposed internal road loop, which we can see here, which keeps driveways and vehicle movements contained within the site. And the main entrance to each townhouse is located on the opposite side of the unit from the garage. So these front facades face the internal pedestrian network. Here we can see, just a zoom into the amenity area in the center of the development. Here we can see the common parking area, a space for 20 bike stalls, and a seating area as well. All of these connected with pedestrian paths. Now, this is a typical elevation. This is for a fourplex, but it's very similar for fiveplex and sixplex. The facade design incorporates durable and cohesive materials, including vinyl board and siding in white and earth tones, engineered wood siding in a cedar finish, black trims, black asphalt shingles, and 42-inch aluminum railings with glass panels for balcony areas, ensuring a modern appearance that is consistent across the development. Also, for all the buildings, the proposed height is just over 34 feet. This is the front elevation. Here you can see the pedestrian access at the ground level, covered by a balcony deck in the second level, which is where the social areas are located, and then followed by a third level with 2 or 3 bedrooms, depending on the size of the unit. This is an example of the rear elevation, where we can see the garage access at the ground level. And then the following slides show very conceptual renderings, just to give you an idea of the scale and general layout of the development. However, in this case, for example, the surrounding context has not been detailed. This rendering helps to appreciate the height of the buildings, the road loop, the central amenity area, and direct pedestrian connection between the front units and the sidewalk along Waverly Street. This is a typical fourplex view. Here we can appreciate the combination of colors in the facade, the rhythm, the landscaping surrounding the entrance of each unit, similar for the fiveplex and the sixplex. So in summary, we feel this is a good proposal for the Prairie Point neighborhood. It adheres to objectives and policies of the city, is consistent with the vision and character of the surrounding neighborhood, introduces a housing form that expands the range of residential options in the neighborhood, responds to identified market needs and demand, and improves the public realm and strengthens access to adjacent neighborhoods through a pedestrian network. And with this, I conclude my presentation. Thank you for your time. If you have any questions, we're happy to answer them.
The timing would suggest you've done this before. Any questions from committee at this point in time?
I'm just recapping the amenities section here. Just wait here. I'm just looking at you. So what is it? Primarily like a little park, seating area, bike parking.
Yes, that's correct. The seating area with also an area for bike stalls and landscaping, trees, shrubs around it, connected with the pedestrian paths. Also, this path connected to this area crosses the street. The path continues and it takes you to the park to the east of the development.
Right.
Which we can see.
Okay. No, I'm familiar with what you're wanting to do, and you've got little amenities in there. You've got good pathway connections to the park. It's nice design. Yeah, no, I don't really have any further questions. This is exciting because it's another multifamily development in the Waverly West Ward. That is the fastest growing ward in the city right now. So, yeah, no, this is, I have no more questions. Thank you.
Councilor Dobson.
One question. Does every building have a balcony?
Yes.
And they're all on the second floor?
Yes.
Okay, so they're not imposing on the neighborhood property because they're not very high. And all the parking is not on the balcony side. Underground parking.
It's not underground, it's ground floor parking, but it's a garage. It's just in the ground floor level. So in here we can see this is the ground floor level and these are the garage entrances.
Yeah, looks very good.
Thank you.
All right, no questions.
So on the ground floor, the parking is at the rear of these buildings. So that would, I would presume, eliminate most of the first floor living space.
Yeah, the first floor is mostly pedestrian access from the other facade, the front facade, and and the garage. And then all the social areas are in the second floor, which is the one with the balcony, like a deck. And then all the bedrooms are in the third floor.
So when you say social area, I get that these are 4, 5, and 6 plexes, but each of the individual like peaked area is a contained unit.
Yes. Yeah. Social areas, I mean, just the kitchen, the living room.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, sorry.
So not shared amongst the entire.
No.
Yes, they all have their individual. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
One big party room on the second floor. They're all
Right.
connected.
We can all join up there. Okay, and then just on the amenities, I see a seating area. It's, I would assume then just kind of like a rest stop area that you can sit at out front waiting for a ride or coming home from a bike ride. Is that what the intention is there?
Yeah.
Not a congregating area?
No. Well, I mean, there can be some gathering there, but I think it's just to provide the opportunity to rest, and also it's in front of the parking, so yeah, also to wait for a ride.
All right. I don't have any other questions. I'm not familiar with Daytona in my neck of the woods on this scale, but I have heard great things about them from other area councilors. So I anticipate this will be a excellent development as they have been across the city. So any other comments, questions?
Good.
Okay. Thank you very much for your presentation.
Just before the delegations leave, councillors, were there any proposed amendments for the site?
No, I
Okay.
have none.
Okay, thank you.
So, great, thank you.
So next we will hear from Jesse Elmero with Raymond Wen Architecture with respect to report 5. Jesse is joining us via Zoom today. I see that Taryn Wen is in the Zoom meeting. Taryn's also appearing with respect to this item with Michael Dixon as well, but just Taryn, we've asked you to start your video, and if you want to turn the video on and unmute yourself, you can proceed.
Hi, I think our camera's not working.
Oh.
One sec, yeah.
Okay, no problem.
Oh, there.
It's coming around, it's finding you, and
Okay,
you're
can
there
you see us and hear us?
to an extent.
Okay.
To an extent, yes.
Are you
Okay,
sitting with Michael Dixon, or is he going after your presentation?
he'll go after.
Okay. All right, up to 5 minutes.
Okay, thanks. Like you said, my name is Taryn and I'm from Raymond Architect. We're here submitting an application for plan approval on behalf of Birchwood Auto Group. It's essentially for the renovation of the existing Birchwood Kia West car dealership within the Birchwood Auto Park. The project involves updating both the exterior and interior of the building to align with the manufacturer's current design guidelines. The scope of work primarily includes the redesign and recladding of the exterior, along with interior renovations to the showroom and associated service and support areas to meet the new brand standards. The only change to the building footprint is the removal of the exterior vestibule. Otherwise, the remainder of the building footprint remains the same. The proposed exterior upgrades include new aluminum windows, new cladding, which are aluminum composite panels in the color black and silver to match Kia's brand, pre-finished metal cladding, and also their updated Kia signage. In terms of landscape, the site is mainly remaining existing. We have added a few shrubs and 2 trees at the main entry, and the parking is at 342 stalls where we require 115. Other than that, that's really the scope of work for this one. If you have any questions,
Thank you.
comments.
Questions at all?
Very beautiful building. No questions.
Thank you.
Any changes that were made after review by the public service?
No,
Great. That's all the questions I have. Seeing no other questions, thank you very much for your presentation.
thank you.
Okay, and then last speaking via Zoom with respect to report 5 is Michael Dixon.
Morning, Michael.
Good morning. My name is Michael Dixon from the Beyond Russell Group. Really just to reiterate, the extent of the landscaping is to restore the required building frontage landscaping. I will clarify There's just shrubs being proposed, but there is two larger shrubs for more of a feature piece. But beyond that, our scope was simply to restore the area around the removed vestibule. And that's all. Thank you.
Questions at all for Michael?
No.
Okay, seeing no questions, Michael, thank you very much. Appreciate your time.
That's it for delegations.
That's it for delegations. Let's get into the report then. We have item number 1, which is semi-annual summary of delegated authority to award per capita land dedication and community incentive grants. Questions at all for the public service on that?
Motion.
Motion is moved by Councillor Lukes, and that is to receive this report as information. Thank you for our clerk for preparing it for us. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Seeing none, that's carried. Thank you very much. Moving on to item number 2, request for new street names to be added to the Assiniboia Community Committee street name reserve list. I'd like just a moment here. I apologize. Yes, questions for the public service on this? Where are these names coming from?
Blaine Martinson from Land Development here.
Sorry, Blaine?
Blaine.
Thank you, Blaine.
Land Development. These are being submitted by Canada Lands Company on behalf of Treaty 1 First Nation.
Okay. All right. I wasn't consulted at all on this, so if Canada Lands is submitting these, I'd like to be consulted on it. I'm not in favor of the public service recommendation at this point in time. Thank you. Any other comments? No, seeing none, I'd like to hand the chair over to Councillor Dobson.
Okay.
I'd like to move that this be received as information, and that would not preclude, or that would not include them on the naming list.
To be concurred in.
Please. Yeah, so that public service recommendation not be concurred in.
Okay, we have the motion for it. All those in favor?
Aye.
Do you want to give a reason?
I would like to be consulted on names that are within my
Got it.
my ward. I think it's important. I didn't know that there was any community consultation. I don't know that these are going to land in Canada Lands Corporation's area. I don't know that they're going to land in Treaty 1 area, which they're entitled to, but I'd like to know more information. So,
Right. And it would be good to know if they spoke with the community, with the folks developing Naui Adina also. I don't know, it doesn't sort of say that in the report if they've spoken with them or not, you know?
thank you.
Hey, all those in favor?
Aye.
I'll support Councillor Duncan's motion, so aye.
Okay. Motion's carried.
Thank you. Item number 3, I'll take the chair back. Appreciate that. A community incentive grant, Braidmore Advisory Council.
Sure, so I wanted to put this one forward. They didn't quite make the matching amount of the grant. I had put in some land dedication. You see the total project cost is $294. It's all on city land. So I'm just asking that the criteria be denied and that Braidmore parent committee receive this funding to go towards their play structure that's heavily used by the community and the school.
Councillor Lukes, did you want to recommend approval of funding in the full amount of $128,658.98? Okay.
Yes, yes.
Okay,
So
stated by the clerk, Councillor Lukes moves.
Okay.
In favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And that is carried. Moving on to the plan approval, we heard delegation on this. Any further comments or questions for the public service?
Nope, this is a great project. I'll move the motion to support the public service recommendation that the proposal proceed.
Thank you very much. That's moved by Councillor Lukes. Calling to question, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And that is carried. We'll move on to item number 5, which is the plan approval. The Birchwood Automotive Group there. We heard from delegation. Any further comments or questions for the public service? I have none. I can move or you can move, Counselor Dobson.
Okay, I move it then.
Okay, moved by Counselor Dobson, public service recommendation, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, carried, thank you. Moving on, plan approval item number 6, which is 199 Park View Street. Brief overview from the public service.
Yes.
Thank you.
Sure, thank you. Yeah, so we did contact the applicant, inviting him to register as a delegate, but they're not here today. But very briefly, the rezoning of this property on Parkview Street in St. James Ward was, the rezoning came to this committee in November of 2024. With the committee and ultimately council approving it, subject to a zoning agreement. One of the conditions of the zoning agreement was that final plans come to this committee for approval. And also that the height be limited to a maximum of 28 feet and the number of dwelling units be limited to 6. So the plans that they've submitted for plan approval meet that height requirement and meet that maximum number of units requirement. And in general, we don't have concerns with what's being proposed here. So we're recommending approval.
I think this is great. I think this is beautiful for that spot. I know that there was that, I think it was a church or some facility that was there forever, right? And yeah, I mean, like it's close to Portage Avenue. I think it looks great. It's not in my area, but you know, I think it looks great. And it's got parking for 7, so that's really good.
Yeah. And I tend to agree. They've got the height down to 28 feet. They have adequate parking. 7 versus generally I would have thought 6 would have been fine, but 7 is better. So I don't anticipate a lot of on-street parking. It's located right beside Portage Avenue for those people that want to catch a bus. And that was our whole focus to put more higher density right near a major transit route, and this qualifies. So I'm very much in support of this.
Great. We have an average square footage per unit here.
Yeah, let me just, I can calculate that quickly.
Assuming the 5,000 and change is the base level.
That's the lot area.
Okay.
Yeah, and then divided by 6, that's sure. Okay, thank you.
800 some odd square feet.
So about, would it be 2,500 minus hallways and whatnot? Is that what I'm getting? 15,000?
Like living area or?
I don't know. I'm taking the 5,000 and change times it by, oh, sorry, that should be times by 3. My bad. Bear with us here. Sure. Okay. I'm still coming up with 6. If we take 3 stories at 5,000 each, 15,000 divided by 6, I'm still coming up with 2,500-ish minus everything.
Yeah. I mean, when we look at this, we look at the lot area and then divide that by the number of units, which is they're just under 6,000 square feet for the entire lot, which is a lot area per dwelling. That's how we calculate the density of just under 1,000 square feet per unit. So this is kind of, it's zoned RMFM, but this is lower density than what they could get.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. I'm not. Yeah. Do you want the unit sizes or?
No, that's okay. I just wanted to make sure that it's meeting somewhat the character of the surrounding neighborhood there. I'm impressed that they got that 3-story building at 28 feet, although, I mean, single family homes permitted at 35 feet, but we heard from the community and Councillor Dobson advocated for the community there. So looks good to me. Any other comments, questions for the public service? Seeing none. Councillor Dobson.
I move that we support this Winnipeg Public Service recommendation and approve the plans.
Thank you. Call that to question. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And that is carried. We do have two addendum reports. Do we need a motion to accept those?
To consider new business? Yes.
Consider new business. And these are the addendums 7 and 8. Councillor Luke.
New business,
Thank you.
motion for new business.
Please. Anyway, yeah, can you stick with us for one more? Thank you. All right. So I'll call the question on that. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Thank you very much. I appreciate that, Councillor Lukes. Both of these are in regards to intersections that intersect with the Heart Trail, which runs from the perimeter through Charleswood, through Tuxedo. And these are problematic intersections. I've been in discussion with the public service for nearly 2 years now. Can't quite find a solution that would be quick in nature, given the 2-year back and forth. We've talked about traffic calming devices. We've talked about trimming bushes back. We've talked about road calming installation. Unfortunately, there is a laundry list of intersections that have pedestrians, cyclists, and motorists potentially at conflict. And although I appreciate getting in the queue for those for actual infrastructure, this is an extremely simple solution that would promote road safety when it comes to primarily pedestrians using the Heart Trail. I know there are cyclists as well, but the Heart Trail was developed as a pedestrian corridor. So I'll start with item number 7, if I may. This is the intersection at Elmhurst and Ridgewood. Currently, the stop sign is on the southeast corner of Ridgewood and Elmhurst. The Heart Trail is approximately 10 to give it 15 feet to the south of that stop sign, which presents conflict because vehicles are pulling up, stopping in front of the Heart Trail where pedestrians and cyclists are crossing. It causes confusion whether vehicles should be stopping before the Heart Trail, at the Heart Trail. People are panicking and going through the stop sign because they're blocking the Heart Trail, which then creates conflict with other vehicles. So this motion speaks to moving the stop sign, which is currently located at the corner of Elmhurst and Ridgewood, to move it
South.
approximately 4 meters south.
The other
So
side of the
that
Heart
the
Trail.
vehicles are stopping before the Heart Trail. If this is successful, Councillor Lukes, you will hear at your committee that we need to trim back bush, that we need to cut down trees. I've been out there, I drive past this daily. The sight lines are quite clear, as we know, with the urban cross section of roads, there are ditches. The trees are not impeding any visual aspect of motorists here. This is simply about having vehicles stop before the trails. My expectation of pedestrians and cyclists is that they also stop. It's created as an unofficial 4-way stop sign, but there would only be the movement of a stop sign 4 meters south so that it comes before the Heart Trail. Yes.
In a sense, you could treat the Heart Trail similar to a sidewalk in short stop in front of it.
That would make sense. I know that this is historically a rail line, and that's, whenever this intersection was created, obviously the intersection with motor vehicles was the priority. Times have changed. This is a major, major, major corridor for pedestrians and cyclists, and I'm not pulling this out of the blue. There are other intersections along the Heart Trail where vehicles stop at the Heart Trail.
Okay.
So, Councillor Dobson, I'll hand you the chair there.
Okay.
If I can move item number 7, and that will go to Public Works to direct the public service to relocate the stop sign for northbound traffic on Elmhurst Road at Ridgewood to have the southern approach of Elmhurst Road at the Heart Trail crossing.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Carried.
And while we're talking about the Heart Trail, might as well look at another intersection. This is at Glenbush and Hearthstone. So in this instance, the stop sign, there's a three-way stop sign at Glenbush and Hearthstone. There is no stop sign at the Hart Trail. So vehicles sail through the Hart Trail. Again, the public service, talking about different types of traffic calming options, talking about cutting back trees and bush that are a defining feature of the Hart Trail. This now would move the two-way north-south stop at Hearthstone and Glenbush to a two-way stop at the Hart Trail and Hearthstone. The intersection at Glenbush and Hearthstone would become a one-way stop for traffic traveling eastbound on Glenbush. So again, Glenbush intersection still controlled. However, the two-way north-south stop, which arguably has more traffic on the trail than on Glenbush and Hearthstone, would be a two-way stop sign. Again, promoting road safety, not only for motor vehicle, but also for pedestrians and cyclists on one of the highest used trails in the city of Winnipeg. So I would move that this item be referred to the Standing Policy Committee on Public Works and request that the Winnipeg Public Service relocate the stop signs for north and southbound traffic on Hearthstone at Glenbush to north and southbound approaches at the Hart Trail crossing while maintaining the eastbound stop sign at Glenbush Street and Hearthstone Road. And just before closing out on that motion, this has received wide support from the community, including Friends of the Hart Trail that are the stewards of the Hart Trail.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, opposed? Carried.
Thank you very much. I'll take the chair back.
Chair back.
Any other new business to deal with today? Seeing none. I'll call for adjournment.
Motion to adjourn.
Thank you very much, Councillor Dobson. All in favor to adjourn?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Seeing none. Thank you very much. We will not have a meeting in March of Assiniboia Community Committee, so we will see you back here for the April meeting of the Assiniboia Community Committee. Thank you for joining us. Enjoy the rest of your week.